All right, I'm not gonna hold this thing up any further. Let's bring them out. Javicia Leslie and Megan Tandy.
Oh, I got your boost. Hello, everybody.
They promised me they would be on their best behavior, and I said, well, why?
I don't want them to be on their best behavior.
Best
Please misbehave.
Yes.
Misbehave. We earned this. We
did.
waited a long time
Yeah.
for this. We earned this. Show out.
I know that's right. So one of the things that I always wonder is, okay, how did you find the roles? Did they find you, or did you seek them out, or how did the casting process work?
I mean, for me, the audition just came in. I didn't know anything about the project. It was the first pilot in, I think, 2019. I can't remember, but I didn't know anything about it until it just came across my desk.
Side note, a lot of people don't know this. After she booked the pilot, she went to Vancouver to shoot it. And then I did a film, and this is how her and I met. She came onto the film, and we're sitting and we're talking about Batwoman. Not thinking that this would all happen.
Yeah,
you're telling me
and
about
what's
your
crazy is
experience.
I was telling her about my experience and about some of the dramas, which obviously, had I known that she would be with us, I wouldn't have said nothing. Like, honestly.
I know that's the first thing you tried to explain to me when I got to Vancouver. You're like, so what we talked about when we were on Always a Bridesmaid.
just disregard. You have a great time.
So how about you? Were you seeking it out, or?
No. Well, we'll tell you guys, like, industry thing. We, and at least not yet, are seeking out things. They come to us in a way where it's like, the auditions come up, and our agents and our managers then take those auditions and send them to us, and then we perform for them, and then we have to kind of compete with other actors to get the role. What are you doing?
I was about to make a really bad joke. Does this not look like a... Never mind.
Say it, misbehave. Say it, misbehave.
It looked like a dick.
So we're gonna invent the round microphone. We're looking for patent pending. That'll be coming out soon. So when you get the script, like, how much did you know about your character ahead of time? Like, did you know that there was going to be a relationship? Did you do you really know that far in advance, or like when you get the script and it's the whole season? Like, how does that work?
I mean, with Sophie, it's obviously it's a little complicated because, you know, I didn't know the full, like, fledged story of season 1 Sophie as it pertained to, you know, how I was gonna pop back up into Kate's life. I didn't really know any of that until after I had gotten the job, and then as we were going along, they were kind of explaining some things, but I think they were playing with stuff, but then it didn't work out because X, Y, and Z. But as it pertains to Ryan's character, I mean, at first they had said I was not going to be her love interest. It was like a point. They didn't want to keep recycling, you know, Sophie with Batwoman, and so like literally, that's actually what Caroline Dries, our showrunner, that's what she said to me. She said Peter Roth did not want to do that, and it ended up happening. So it was a shock for me. I was just like, oh.
Sophie got a type.
Yeah, I mean, she does. She loves her Batwomen, so.
I ain't got no type, but she does. I had no idea either, because I was told the same thing, that it wasn't happening. Everybody thinks I'm lying. I was told that it wasn't happening. And so I was talking about this in the last interview. You know what I think might have, like, leaned into it? Eric Wallace called me to go over the Flash story point, and he was like, okay, it's a fictitious world, like the world doesn't really exist. You could do anything you want with your character. He's like, all right, what about you and Sophie? Like, what's the story? I was like, oh, well, we're not lovers on the show, but since we're not lovers on the show, let's be lovers on the Flash. So Sophie and Ryan being married was actually a conversation that me and Eric came up with for the Flash. It was just like, and the funny part is, I thought that was the only place it was going to exist. So I really wanted to kind of lean into that. So I talked to Eric, like, can we have a conversation about it? Can there be a wedding ring? Maybe Sophie and Ryan are trying to have kids. And so Eric literally put all of that in there, and we were able to play with that. And I thought that's where it would end. And then all of a sudden, there's Wildmoore.
I don't know for sure, but I'm almost positive it is because of the fans. Because I remember Caroline saying something like that. She's like, this is what the fans want, which she normally does not do that. And that was the thing that she told me. She's like, you don't really always give them what they want, but they really, really want you and Ryan to be together. So it's thanks to you guys.
I think from the moment that I saw the two of you on screen together, I was like, ooh. Please tell me that that's a thing. Please tell me that
Because you guys are all masochists and you like some pain with your pleasure. Because these two characters did not whatsoever, even to me, look like they would make it because of so much tension.
Enemies to lovers.
But every relationship.
I know y'all like that. That's what it is.
I still didn't really see it, to be honest, but you just go along with it.
Y'all just like some pain with y'all pleasure.
They were very strategic about the shots they chose and the looks that they had you two giving each other, even in that scene, and the banter, and they knew what they were doing, for sure.
Or maybe we were playing, because I think that to some extent, there were times where like I would do stuff just to do it and see if it would make it in the edit. And then I'd watch it and I'm like, oh shoot, they put that in the edit. Like every time Sophie would walk away and I'd be like,
Yup.
and then I'd watch the show and I'm like, wow, that actually made the edit.
Is there anything that you shot that you thought was going to make it into the scene, into different scenes, and you were like, oh, okay, they cut that.
Morning after.
I actually forgot about that until everyone had posted that it was a part of the DVD, right?
Yeah.
I had completely forgotten about it. Well, so that's what I'm saying, right?
You kissed her
You guys,
shoulder.
literally, I didn't know it. I forgot until you guys said it. It was
You
like
kissed
one
her
take.
shoulder before going out.
Oh, they didn't put that in there? No. Sometimes it's hard to remember what they put in there, what they didn't, because we shoot all of it.
Yeah.
So I'm just assuming that they put it in there. So they didn't put the shoulder kiss in there. See, y'all thought I just left her in the bed.
You did. And then your mama showed up and I was happy. My booty was out.
Speaking of that, what was it like to work with Robin Givens?
Oh my gosh, like an honor, right? Let's give it up for Robin Givens. She's awesome. It was amazing. I think that, pretty much all of our scenes were together. So when you work with Robin Givens, you show up. You're prepared, and she's so fun to play with, and she's such a professional, and she's a champion when it comes to her art form. So to be able to work with a boss like that is dope.
That is incredible. Okay, stunts. I know that I tried not to watch a whole lot of like videos ahead of time of you actually talking and talking about your characters and things like that. But and I did see a video where you were mentioning they wanted you to do more of your stunts. But how does it work for stunts? Like, is it that you do something up to a certain point, or how does that part of it work?
You want to do, obviously you do up to what you're comfortable with, and you want to do as much as you can, but you also want to make sure you're servicing the character. So you never want your ego, when it comes to wanting to do stunts, to interfere with the fact that your stunt double is actually just better at that. There are things that my stunt double and I, we trained so much that there were things that because of her I learned how to do that we were able to use in the show, and there were certain things that I just couldn't do, but I wanted my character to be able to do it, so we had her. And then there were times where it's like half me, half her. like if we were to show a scene, I could show you, but like it's kind of always a mix. But it was really important for me because I think when you're watching a superhero show, you should be able to keep the camera on the actor for as long as possible before you have to do a cut.
That makes a lot of sense. And so for you, Megan, how was it with like working with weapons? And is that something that you previously trained to do? And how familiar are you actually with that?
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like I've done a couple of roles now where like my character ends up with some sort of a gun. So I have had some experience with shooting a little bit, but even just like with some of the fight scenes, I love Rochelle Okoye. That is my freaking stunt double. That's my sister. She is like the badass version of Sophie, like hands down. And she always did such a wonderful job of just, you know, she would show me the moves, like how to properly hold the weapon and everything, but we would also do like fighting and you know, boxing and all that sort of thing. But just like with what Javicia said, you know, up to a certain point, you know, I would stop and it's just like, girl, you go on in there and break your ankle. Like, which is crazy because she actually has before. She used to, she was being a double for Halle Berry and she actually like ruptured her ankle for Halle Berry. So I was like, do it again. But yeah, like for me, and I know for Javicia too, like I always like to honor our stunt team. So there might have been like a move or two that I could do, but I was like, girl, get in there, have your spotlight. So I always tried to share it, you know, in that way.
How much driving do you really get to do? Any?
I don't think Sophie ever drove.
Oh, there was an episode.
What you mean is like, you're asking us how much actual physical driving we did. A lot of stuff is light screen and green screen and things like that. So, but I did actually drive the Batmobile once. Yeah. I forgot whose episode it was, but he was like, I actually need you to drive up and get out. And I was like, oh, I ain't never actually drove that. He was looking at me like, you've never driven it? I'm like, no. And so that was only one time during the entire series. But it's okay, like those cars are not easy to deal with. And speaking of...
So low too.
I was just about to say that. Speaking of getting out of that Batmobile, it took a long time to figure out how to make that look smooth. Because I used to be like, wait, hold on. It was hard.
Do you remember that one scene? What's the part where you were getting on me about, I guess, hooking up with Renee? So remember when I had to get out of the Batmobile and then Holly wanted me to go faster?
Yes.
I was like, bitch, you go faster. You guys, literally, for my legs, getting out of that thing, it was like this. This is practically what it was. I was like, my hip was at the ankle. They're like, get out faster. I'm like, now run up to Ryan. I'm like, bitch, you run up to Ryan. But I'm not bitter. I'm about to just take it off.
Take it off.
Wardrobe malfunction.
That's a different panel.
And did you ever drive the Batmobile?
Girl, no.
Do y'all know how I felt when they let Rachel drive the damn Batmobile? Bitch, you ain't gonna make it. Alex can't drive the Batmobile.
I actually do remember that, and I had the same thought. I was like, this is done with. It went a different direction.
What are we doing, y'all?
So do you have a favorite scene or a favorite stunt or a favorite moment in the show?
Yeah, I don't think I could pick one. There's a lot. I think that the one that first of all, shout out to TQ in that dang on video.
So good. It's like movie quality.
But even the scene where we were the Clue episode, that was so much fun for us because it meant that me, Nicole, and her could and y'all don't know this. At about 10 p.m., 11 p.m., she loses her marbles. And she just is like the funniest person to work with on set. Like, hilarious. So we were literally laughing that entire episode.
Oh, yeah, you're getting an ab workout. But do you remember that one take? I don't know what I was doing. It was remember the acting? You guys, okay, I was like such a bad actor on this part. Remember when you're supposed to, you grab Nicole and you go off
Yes.
Okay. It was so stupid. did, you guys, I was like, Megan, you need to quit acting. But yeah, you get a
It
little
was a lot of
silly.
fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite storyline that you have?
Favorite storyline. I mean, but they don't like my answer, but I like any. Why are you saying that with such attitude, Megan? I mean, I really did love season 1, Sophie, but I also just love anything with the crows, because I actually got to do more than just be the pretty love interest. So I'll never get off of that.
I would say it would be the what's that house, the getaway house, Maya's episode. The scary house, not the candy lady, the wood house, cabin in the woods episode. I love that episode. I mean, I think that the way it was shot, and I'm a scary movie buff, like I actually think they did a great job for this to just be, you know, a CW TV show. Like they did a really, really great job. Hey, no shade, no shade. But you don't expect CW to ever be that scary, for real, you know what I mean? And I think that for it to be a television show, this ain't Netflix. This ain't HBO.
Netflix
This
is
ain't
poor
HBO.
too.
This
Netflix
ain't
is
Cinemax.
poor too.
This ain't SARS.
All in the valley when the girls get naked.
Come on, P Valley.
Y'all nasty.
This whole row right here, specifically these 3. Okay. Specifically this one then, Megan. Sorry. You go right ahead. We'll let her continue.
No, there's going to be a P Valley version of Batwoman
Oh,
special
they would
episode
love that.
editions for the box set, the trilogy. Do you know if there were any more pages written after this? The last script that you got, was it that one or?
I think Caroline had to have like a synopsis of what she would want the next season to be about, and so we did talk about what she wanted next. It wasn't necessarily about like a Sophie Ryan thing. It would just be more so we were getting more access to more Batman characters.
Interesting.
Are you serious?
I know. Because I've been asked that, like, if you knew whether or not there were going to be moments and things like that.
I mean, we'd have had a whole season, so I'm sure there would have been something that popped off. But I know that these two would have like broken up, gotten back together, broken up, gotten back together.
Yeah, they probably would have did something like that.
It is CW.
They would have got that again.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the CW without a breakup. So
It wouldn't be the CW without a breakup.
here's what I want to do, a little unorthodox. I want to start the Q&A a little bit early because I feel like
It's a very live crowd.
It's a very live crowd, and there are a ton of questions out there. So I want to give you all the time that you deserve to be able to ask your questions. So I'm going to start the Q&A now.
Look at Lex. Lex was like, yeah. What kind of
Can we
question?
get microphones for the questions? Are you ready with microphones?
Ain't nobody getting up.
We can get up. There's
Wow.
I'm willing to run down a microphone. Don't get me wrong, because I can do it.
There she goes.
This is officially the unorthodox panel.
Usually there's a microphone or something that they
Come
can.
on.
Build a line. Yeah.
Hey.
Get up first.
I had to write it down.
No, right here.
Okay, guys, don't look at me. I have stage fright. Good.